Hiya. Today I'm going to go through some really simple and easy steps for doing your eyeshadow if you've got more of a hooded eye shape. In particular, I'm going to use cream sticks today. Now, I've kind of picked from a few different ideas. Simran, you wanted to know about cream sticks. Sula, you'd asked me about hooded eyes. And Susan, you said your cream sticks are always patching. So let's work it all into one. I'm going to start with a little bit of foundation all over. This is my Your Skin But Better foundation. I'm quite red today. I have been quite red recently, so I've bought some concealer in case I need to add a little bit more coverage, but I'll see how I go. One of the things I'm just going to mention while I remember, I was just thinking about it there. A lot of the time, I would recommend using an eyeshadow primer. I'm not always one for using a face primer, but if you want your eyeshadows to stay on all day, I would always usually recommend using an eye primer. However, I'm not going to use one today, and the reason being, I'm going to start with a cream and then set it in place with a powder shadow. And so that in mind, I feel like by the time I've taken a little bit of foundation across my eyelids and used a primer and used a cream and used a powder, it would just be too many steps. So to keep it simple, this is a really lightweight kind of foundation anyway. I've just taken a little sweep of that across the eyes like you've just seen, and then the cream is almost going to act like the primer for the powder, if that makes sense. Now, I don't have a particularly hooded eye, but I definitely have noticed them dropped, especially in the last couple of years. And when I'm on the other side of lockdown, I will absolutely make it a priority to do some videos on different people other than you're probably as sick of seeing my face as I am of doing my own face. I can't wait to have someone else to do the makeup of, but for now we'll make it work. Okay, so I'm not setting this with any powder just yet. And I'm going to start with, this is a Bobbi Brown eyeshadow stick in taupe. Loads of people do eyeshadow sticks. In particular, I think Bobbi Brown and Laura Mercier are my favourite shadow sticks. And actually, before I do that, I'm not going to start with that. The first thing I'm going to do is just quickly use my pencil liner. The reason I'm going to do that first is I might want to touch this lid to get in there and move around, and I don't want to disturb any shadow on the lid. So this is a Peaches and Cream eyeliner in Sphinx. It's kind of like a 2p piece gold. And what I'd say is, if you do have this more hooded eye shape and you still want the definition of a liner, then using it along the waterline is a nice way to achieve that definition without taking up the space on the lid itself. And whatever shade you like to use, I actually really like using a brown in that waterline. It's that bit softer than black, but you still get all of the definition and it can help to pop the eyes a little bit. So now I'm going to go in with my Bobbi shadow in taupe. What I'm going to do here is just literally, doesn't need to be neat because we're going to buff it out. I'm going to take this to roughly the crease, and straight away I'm going to start working with it. I'm going to use a fluffy brush. This is Amy Connolly's buffer brush. Catherine, I'm listening. I'm going to remember to always say the names of my brushes. You can use your finger, it's just as easy. One of the things I would really urge you to do if you're using creams is do one eye at a time. I think a lot of the time, especially when we're trying to be symmetrical with our makeup, you could very easily put your cream on both and then go back and do them, by which point the cream has set and it is so much more difficult to blend. And now I'm just flicking this out, as you can see, in a little kind of wing at the end. One of the things I'd really encourage you to do, if you have more of a hooded eye or a dropped eye, is completely ignore the lines on your face. If I relax and I was following the lines, I'd only take my shadow up to that line and I've got all this real estate here that would be sat doing nothing. So no, I'm going to blend up through it and use it like I've done on this side. And even when I relax, you can see all of that lovely taupey brown all the way along there. That's what I want to do. So again, it's one of those instincts. We all kind of think, okay, you want your makeup to be symmetrical and neat and really polished. Of course we want those things, but don't feel afraid to colour outside the lines if you're working with more of a hooded eye shape. Now I would point out, that said, that when I'm first putting the cream on, I'm only really taking it to that line, and it's the brush that's elevating it. Or by all means, this genuinely does work really well with your fingers. I just always feel a bit more comfortable with a brush. We've all got our preferences, and you know, at the end of the day, the end goal is that your makeup looks and feels nice. So whatever feels right for you, go for that. Now I'm brushing that up, and they're nice and even, they're nice and, you know, blown and smoky, and I'm happy with that. Now, that cream, in general, I have to say, the Bobbi and the Laura Mercier creams last really well. I like the way they blend, great things to say about them. But as a general rule, creams are going to move, they're going to crease, they're warm, aren't they? So what I'm going to do is set this in place with a shadow in a similar tone. This is a bit warmer. This is MAC Mulch, one of the ultimate eyeshadows for me. That video, if you've watched a few of my videos, I was telling you the other day, I was watching Holly Madison do her makeup like when she was in Girls of the Playboy Mansion. Sorry, I should show you what I'm doing. Hang on. I'm patting this flat. I'm just going to dab the excess off on the back of my finger because I can't reach the back of my hand. And I'm just going to press this into that cream for now. And then I'm going to buff that out as well. But that has kind of locked that cream into place. Basically, what I was getting excited and ahead of myself and saying was that she used mulch, and I was like, where's my mulch? I love mulch as well, I just haven't used it in ages. I'm wiping that clean, and now you can see where that's almost like bled. It's all, you know, merged into each other, and you can see this slightly harsh line. I'm just going to soften that. You've already put your template in place with your cream. And that now is not only even deeper in pigment, but it is sealed into place. Now, optional, I don't think I'm going to do it today because I like this quite fresh. If you've got that extra space up here like me, brilliant. Even when you frown and pull this kind of face, you can see all of those colours. If you haven't got an awful lot of space between here and the brow, don't forget that you can play with under here. I'm going to do the tiniest bit in the outer corners. I'm going to use a pencil brush for this. This is a Zoeva Luxe Pencil 230. I'm just going to use the mulch when I'm doing this because the cream, if I show you the thickness of that pencil brush is actually quite small. The thickness of this, you can't really see it on the camera. It's significantly rounder and larger. It will come too low down. Whereas with this, I have a lot more control to just put the tiniest bit in these outer corners. But by all means, absolutely go to town under there. Again, it's that question of just remembering you have all of this real estate to play with and use all of this space and shapes. Whether it would usually be somewhere that you would put your colour or not is another question. But just use it up, enjoy it. I've actually made a little bit of a flick there that I didn't even mean to do, but there we go, we'll roll with it. It's all part of the makeup, isn't it? Gonna smudge it out with my finger where I've gone a bit too firm. Fine. Now, in the name of saving a bit of time, I did a couple of steps before I started. I've already done my eyebrows and I've already curled my eyelashes. I'm gonna go in with some Superhero mascara. I would encourage you, if you have a particularly hooded eye shape, to find a really volumizing mascara that you feel great in. Superhero mascara for me, I love, you know, trying different mascaras and putting everything to the test, but this is the one that just works the best for me. It's really volumizing. I feel like a real difference in the drama of my lashes when I've put it on. Let me just do one eye and show you. Like, even that makes such a difference to brighten and widen everything up. And also, don't be afraid to put mascara on the bottom lashes. I feel like this is a really personal one, actually. And lots of people don't put them on the bottom. And again, by all means, I think you know your own features and face and what feels nice for you. But if your end goal is achieving a bigger, brighter, kind of more wide eye, then some of that mascara on the bottom can really make a huge difference. Especially if you've got naturally long lashes. One of my friends, she doesn't wear makeup on the bottom unless I do her makeup for her. And we're always just falling over ourselves at how long the lashes are when we do it. So it might be one of those things, if you haven't tried it before, you'll get a little pleasant surprise once you've done it. Okay, I'm just going to finish some complexion. I'm going to go in with a Nude Sticks in Bondi Bay. I'm going to swipe on these kind of contouring swipes, but that's not really the goal. It's just that that's where I would be putting my bronzer. I'm going to use the same brush. That looks very clean. I'm going to use the same brush, I think, that I did my foundation with. And then Kim Forbes, you had said to me the other day, you want me to do a really flushed blush and lip. So there we go. That's what's on the agenda now for the rest of my base. Another thing I'd say, I've obviously sealed that eyeshadow in, the cream eyeshadow, with a shadow of a similar colour. But if you haven't got a shadow in a similar colour, by all means use your foundation setting powder on the eyes. If it's translucent, you know, it's going to do as good a job as any. That's a great point I'm making, as I've just realised I haven't packed my translucent powder. Let me check. Oh, I have. It's in another bag. I've got these little clear bags, and I put in them things for videos. So this one, for example, let me just see. Susan said to me the other day that her foundation sits in pores and she's not found a solution for it. So that's my little kit list for doing that one next. That's for you, Susan, coming up, how to stop that from happening. Okay, I'm going to take my translucent setting powder. Just even on texture, I've noticed the texture on there throughout this video. Just gonna turn the volume down on that a little bit. I'm gonna take a tiny bit of powder, just generally everywhere. And I'm gonna take some NARS Orgasm blusher and a little bit of highlighter. Can I just say as well, this hoodie, I absolutely love this hoodie. Felicity Hayward has a brand, Self Love Brings Beauty, and she's got t-shirts and all sorts. And I've got a t-shirt she gave me years ago and I love it. I always wear it. And it's been a while since she's done a restock of new things. So I ordered this hoodie just before Christmas. It is the softest hoodie. It's so lovely. I got a t-shirt as well that's really soft and lovely. And just if you were looking for a nice little cozy jumper for around the house or anything, just couldn't be softer. And it's just nice to know that it's gone to an individual, a small business with really good intentions. If you have a look at the page, Self Love Brings Beauty, she really tries to champion that, like, there's no one size fits all. There's loads of different ways to be beautiful. No. There's my flushed blush. I've literally only got a few minutes. I'm not going to have time for lip liner. I'm going to put on a little bit of Charlotte Tilbury Lost Cherry. And brighten everything up. See, I'll have to neaten that up with the lip liner. But you get the gist. And there we go. Right. I'll tidy that up. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll be getting this off my teeth and talking to you soon.